a prince was born over 2,500 years ago in a small kingdom in what we now call Nepal. His name was Siddhartha Gautama. From the moment of his birth, it was clear he was not an ordinary child. His father, a powerful king, was told by astrologers that his son would either become a great emperor or a great spiritual teacher. Hoping for the former, the king surrounded his son with beauty, comfort, and pleasure. Pain, sickness, and death were hidden away. The palace was a world free from suffering. But the world is never that clean. No matter how high the walls are, truth finds its way in. One day, Siddhartha left the palace and encountered what are now called the four sights: a sick man, an old man, a dead body, and a holy man who had renounced the world. For the first time, he saw what had been carefully kept from him: life's inescapable truths, aging, illness, death, and the possibility of spiritual liberation. These sights shattered his illusion. Everything he had once believed, that pleasure could protect him from pain, that power could shield him from decay, was no longer enough. The seed of transformation had been planted. So, at the age of 29, he did something most of us would never dare. He walked away from his palace, his wife, his child, his throne. Not out of selfishness, but out of an urgent need to understand the truth. If life involves suffering, then there must be a way to end it. That became his mission. He began his journey as a wandering ascetic, joining other seekers who believed that extreme physical hardship was the path to enlightenment. He fasted until his body was almost bones and skin. He meditated in forests, exposed to heat, cold, and rain. But after years of intense self-denial, he realized something profound: suffering for the sake of suffering does not bring wisdom. Starving the body does not awaken the mind. He remembered a moment from childhood when he had sat peacefully under a tree watching nature, feeling calm and alive. That memory returned like a soft light in the darkness. He realized that perhaps the answer wasn't in extremes, neither indulgence nor deprivation, but somewhere in between. That became known as the middle way. One day, he sat beneath a fig tree, what is now called the Bodhi tree, and vowed not to rise until he found the truth. For days, he meditated, facing his inner fears, desires, and doubts. The legends say he was tempted by Mara, the embodiment of illusion and ego. But Siddhartha did not move. He watched each emotion rise and fall like waves. He saw through the illusion. And then, in a moment of clarity, he awakened. He became the Buddha, the awakened one. But what did he awaken to? Not some magical truth, not a mystical escape from life, but to reality itself. He saw that life, as we live it, is filled with suffering. Not just physical pain, but emotional struggle, fear, craving, disappointment, loss. This suffering, he realized, is not random or permanent. It has a cause. And because it has a cause, it also has a cure. This became the foundation of his teaching, the Four Noble Truths. The first truth is that life involves suffering. This doesn't mean life is only suffering. There is joy, laughter, love. But all things change. What we love can be lost. What we crave often disappoints us. Even when we get what we want, it doesn't last. We get a promotion and soon want more. We fall in love and fear losing it. Everything is temporary, and clinging to what is temporary causes pain. The second truth is that suffering is caused by craving. Not just craving for pleasure or things, but also for control, for permanence, for ego. We crave to be someone, to be important, to be safe, to be loved forever. But the world doesn't bend to our desires. So we suffer. The third truth is that there is an end to suffering. It's not about escaping life, but about seeing clearly. If craving causes suffering, then letting go ends it. When we stop clinging, when we stop resisting reality, peace arises. And the fourth truth is the path to that peace. It's called the Noble Eightfold Path, a guide for how to live. It includes right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Not rules, but practices. Not commandments, but invitations to see life more clearly and respond more wisely. At the heart of Buddhism is not a god to worship, but a truth to understand. Buddha didn't claim to be divine. He never said, "Follow me blindly." Instead, he said, "Don't believe anything just because I said it. Test it. See for yourself." That's what makes his philosophy so powerful, even today. It doesn't demand faith. It offers a lens through which to see yourself and the world more honestly. It's less about beliefs, more about awareness. Less about controlling life, more about understanding it. Take a moment and think about your own life. How often do you suffer not because of what happened, but because of how you reacted to it? Someone says something rude, and you hold on to it all day. A plan doesn't go your way, and you spiral into anxiety. We resist, we grasp, we fight reality, and we suffer. The Buddha's teaching isn't to stop feeling. It's to stop being controlled by feelings. It's not to detach in a cold way, but to develop a wise detachment, to care without clinging, to love without fear, to live fully without needing to control everything. Mindfulness, one of the key practices in Buddhism, is about being present. Not lost in the past or anxious about the future, but fully alive in this moment. When we're mindful, we see things as they are, not as we wish they were. We notice our breath, our thoughts, our reactions. And in that space of awareness, we gain freedom. Meditation isn't about escaping. It's about arriving. Sitting in silence, watching your breath, noticing thoughts pass like clouds, it sounds simple, but it's powerful. You begin to realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. This shift changes everything. The Buddha's message isn't to withdraw from life, but to engage it with wisdom and compassion. He encouraged people to live ethically, not to harm others, not to lie, not to steal, not because of fear of punishment, but because these actions disturb the peace of the mind. Kindness is not just good for others, it's good for you. Even his approach to death was wise. He said that everything that arises must pass. That includes you, me, our loved ones, our successes, our failures. Death is not a punishment, it's a part of life. By accepting it, we stop fearing it. And when we stop fearing death, we start living more freely. Buddhism doesn't offer heaven or hell as rewards or threats. It offers liberation, freedom from the cycles of suffering, freedom from ignorance. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about seeing clearly who you already are beneath the noise of ego and fear. What makes the Buddha's philosophy so relevant today is that it speaks directly to the human condition. In a world filled with noise, distraction, and endless craving, his message is one of stillness, simplicity, and self-awareness. When everything around you screams more, he whispers enough. When the world tells you to chase happiness, he teaches you to sit still and see it already within you. You don't have to be a monk. You don't have to shave your head or wear robes. The path is inside you. In how you speak. In how you listen. In how you treat others. In how you handle pain. Every moment is a chance to wake up. The Buddha once said, "Just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life." That spiritual life doesn't have to mean religion. It means inner clarity. It means living with intention. It means not drifting through life blindly, but walking it with open eyes. Siddhartha Gautama was not a god. He was a human being, just like you. He suffered, he searched, and he found a way. And that way is still open, still alive, still waiting for anyone who dares to walk it. In a world that constantly pulls you outward, into noise, into comparison, into fear, the Buddha invites you inward. Not to escape, but to see. Not to abandon life, but to embrace it with wisdom. We all suffer. That's part of being human. But we don't have to stay stuck in that suffering. There is a path. A quiet, gentle, powerful path. And it begins with a single step. Not out there, but within.